Namaste, namaste. Greetings from Noisy-le-Grand in Paris. You can see in the background there is my little altar where I have some forms of Vishnu. If you're here for the first time to this channel, and if you are interested in Indian philosophy, yoga, theology, then please do subscribe, because there's not many other channels out there on YouTube where we discuss life from the perspective with specific quotes from ancient Vedic literatures, such as the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, which are considered to be very famous, and they are, but which are claimed to have a power of purification that takes place when you listen to them, even if your room is a mess. So please do consider subscribing. We're going through a series of famous prayers from this famous book called the Srimad Bhagavatam, which again is considered to be the ripened fruit of the Vedic literatures. So if you've heard of the word the Vedas, you know, this huge corpus of ancient Sanskrit sacred texts that include, for example, the Ayurvedic texts. The Srimad Bhagavatam, or the Bhagavad Purana, is claimed to be the ripened fruit. So if you go to a tree and there's all sorts of fruits, but there's one fruit that's like really ripe, and you eat that fruit, then you've kind of, hit the jackpot, so to speak. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to be that ripened fruit of all the Vedic literature. So we have a book here. I'm sorry, I want to be in the screen so you can actually see me properly. I think we're good to go. So we're in a series of famous prayers found in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And I want to read to you a simple, short verse that Vasudeva, the adoptive father of Krishna and Balaram, tells Krishna and Balaram in the 10th book, 85th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So as I always say, God, I'm really ashamed from what you see there, but it's actually not that. It looks messy, but it's not that messy. But anyway, the sound that you're about to hear right now, the Sanskrit that I'm about to read, and the translation that you're about to hear, that has maximum power to connect you to Krishna, to God, to the divine. So listen carefully. Don't get distracted by so many other possible distractions just for this 1 or 2 minutes that's left in this video. So listen to this. Krishna Krishna Mahayogin Sankarshana Sanatana Jane Vam Asyayat Sakshat Pradhana Purushao Parao. So Vasudeva says, O Krishna, the name of God. O Krishna, Krishna, best of yogis. It's interesting that God is described in the Vedic literatures sometimes as a yogi, and as the greatest yogi, as Yogeshwar, the master of all yogic or mystic powers. So here Vasudeva is also saying, is calling Krishna or God the best of yogis. And obviously, if God is personal, if God is a person and is the source of everything and the source of all mystic powers, then logically he's the best of yogis, right? So, O Krishna, best of yogis, O eternal Sankarshan. Sankarshan is another name for God, which refers to his Vishnu form, in which he maintains the entire universe, among other attributes. I know, Vasudeva says, that you are personally the source of universal creation and the ingredients of creation as well. So Vasudeva is basically claiming that God's a person, and two, God is the source of everything we see. And as a matter of fact, let's make one reference here to the Bhagavad Gita, one of the two main scriptures that we quote on this channel. And in the Bhagavad Gita, spoken by God himself, allegedly, and revered around the at least the Hindu world worldwide, even more so than the Srimad Bhagavatam. In other words, it's an even more famous scripture. The Bhagavad Gita, Mahatma Gandhi is supposedly his constant companion. Krishna, in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse 8, says, Aham sarvasya prabhava matak sarvam pravartate. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me, right? So God makes that claim. God makes that claim in the Bhagavad Gita. And here Vasudeva is basically confirming that, right? He's saying, I know, right? So he's got this conviction. I know that you are personally the source of universal creation and the ingredients of creation as well. In other words, earth, water, fire, air, ether, whatever material ingredient this world is constituted of, those very ingredients also come from that personal God. So if you're on the fence about believing in a personal God, or if you're just kind of happy with the idea that God is impersonal and has no form, and it's just some sort of white cosmic light in which you merge into sooner or later, then then think again. Think again, because according to the authority of the Bhagavad Gita and of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which again are described as being the essence of all the Vedas, yes, God is impersonal. God is an impersonal force, but God, in His ultimate feature, is a person, and that should titillate your intellect and make you convinced that, well, maybe I should stop just being satisfied with impersonal, it's all one kind of. And I say that because there's so many gurus out there, so-called following the Vedic tradition, who are totally steeped in this impersonal paradigm, or to be more specific, the Advaita Vedantists, or the Mayavadi, or followers of Shankaracharya paradigm, which just does not jive theologically. It does to a certain extent, but not completely, with the personalist or the Vaishnava, or the devotional school, which this channel proposes, and of which the Bhagavad Gita, as much as non-dualists try to twist the meaning of, and especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, which the Mayavadis or the impersonalists don't even touch. They don't even go there, because it's just so glaringly evident in that text that the conclusion is that God's a person, that they don't even touch that Purana. According to the authority of these two texts, God is a person. So, we should, as Bob Marley, or was it Peter Tosh, in used to sing, give thanks and praises. We should be grateful. We should repeatedly thank God for giving us, everything we have, and we should pray to be able to be engaged in God's service while we live this life in this world, regardless of what our karma throws our way, whether it's a happy marriage or an unhappy marriage, or good health or bad health, or a lot of fame or a lot of infamy, or legal problems or legal free life, or a lot of money or not, whatever the situation may be. If we repeatedly remember that God's a person and He's the source of everything, and He's got our back if we're devoted to Him. Even if we're not devoted to Him, He's got our back. What to speak of if we're devoted to Him? Then we'll live, a happy, peaceful, God-conscious life. And while we're living this happy, peaceful, as happy as you can be in this, temporary, miserable world we live in, life, we can help others also take their first or fifth or 10th or 11th step towards that personal God, Krishna. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Om Tat Sat.